feel too short. I mean, I am short, so. Hello, welcome to Whiskey Advent 2020, day
18. It is a very special day because this is my favorite whiskey in the world, favorite whiskey company. This is not a distiller. This is a blender. They're called Barrell Craft Spirits. And the reason I love them so much is they are experimental. And everything they do is so freaking good. They win all the awards. 2017 Best Bourbon of the Year, according to the San Francisco Whiskey Tasting. It's the whiskey tasting. Fred Minnick wrote for Forbes, gave them Best Whiskey of 2018. They won again in 2020 this year for Best Bourbon, and that was batch 21.
Blake, how many bottles of Barrell whiskey do you own?
Probably 20 plus bottles.
More than 20. Yeah.
They're
Bros
Barrell,
in love.
Yeah.
Bros in love with Barrell.
One thing I can say about Barrell is that you know that you're going to get an exceptional product. You're going to pay a little more for it, but it's certainly not the allocated prices of your Pappy Van Winkles and your Wellers and all that stuff. Their Barrell Craft Spirits is a 15-year bourbon that they release once a year or in the October to November time frame. It's about $215, and it's worth every penny. And you know that you can find that on a shelf any time, and it is so good. I would take it over Pappy any day. In fact, the other day we had a little Pappy.
A couple months ago.
Yeah, about a month or two ago.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was good. And I was like, you know what? What I really want now is I want that Barrell 15. And just everything they do is incredibly good. Another benefit is that everything they do is barrel proof. It's all straight out of the barrel. Now, like I said, they're not distillers, they're sourcers. They source different barrels from different distillers that can't use that barrel for whatever reason. It just has an odd finish to it or something like that. And they mix it with other barrels they buy. They tell you what state each barrel comes from.
So typically it's Kentucky or Indiana?
Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
So they use a lot of Dickel products from Tennessee.
I'll get on your Dickel shirt one of these days.
That's right. They also, Indiana is probably NGP, the Midwest grain producers. They do a lot of barrels and distilling for, what's the one? Bullet.
Lots
of different companies. So if you see something from Indiana, it's probably NGP. Anyways, I can go on for a long time about these guys.
And he does.
So what we're tasting tonight is one of their experimental micro releases. This is a pretty penny. It's pretty pricey. It is
an 18-year Kentucky whiskey.
Yes.
Not a bourbon, just a whiskey.
They do have their own series of experimental bourbons as well. So then they also have their batch numbers. They do about 4 a year. They do one rye a year, and their rye is absolutely fantastic. Batch 3 came out this year. Batch 2 I thought was even better last year. Incredible stuff. I even have an experimental Canadian rye that they did that is just out of this world. And I don't like Canadian whiskey.
Do you see that gleam in his eye? He is so happy about Barrell Craft Spirits.
They're winning all kinds of awards. It's great stuff. Anyway, tonight is the BH01 release blend. And it is their private release. It is, like you said,
18-year Kentucky whiskey, finished in Sauterne barrels or casks, whatever we call them. Finished. Yeah.
This is.
And Sauterne is like a sweet dessert wine.
Mm-hmm. So, have I said enough about Barrell? I love them. I think I heard that they are building their own distillery currently. It's going to be really interesting to see if they keep sourcing and mix their own product into it.
They do fun stuff, which makes them just fun to drink and
Everything they put out is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they put out is a solid age statement too. So I think some of their batches are 5 years. Some of their batches are 11,
14.
9. A lot of the barrel picks, especially in the Northwest Arkansas area, are 14-year for about $90, and that's unheard of. It's just so quality that I love the Encore, our local liquor store pick. They do one a year, and it's always 14 years. It's almost better than the 15-year that they put out for $200 later in the year. So they've got so much quality stuff coming out all the time. And this is really cool. We get to try an 18-year Kentucky whiskey, shall we?
Oh, we shall.
I'm getting a lot of like buttery, like a
brown butter,
brown sugar and butter together.
Yeah,
almost like
a
oatmeal.
sweetness.
Yeah. It's definitely hot
So
on the
good.
nose. It is.
There's a musty funk, which we haven't talked about in a while.
Yeah. Musty funk.
As you recall, we love us some musty funk.
Love musty funk.
It's sweet.
It's got a fruity note to it, like a peach and pear kind of note to it. White
Got a
wine.
little spice to it.
It's hot. It's a little hot, which I like. I don't like it too calm. I like a little
Yeah, because the
heat.
proof on this
It's not too much.
is
58%, 116.
Again,
0.36.
everything they do is barrel proof.
So straight out of the barrel into the bottle. No watering down.
And you can get kind of like that sweet white grape juice, which I assume comes from the Sauterne. It's so smooth.
Real syrupy.
Smooth, but spicy.
Got a little bitterness, a little char. Spicy. A bit oily. And it lingers for a long, long time. So
It's
you enjoy
good
it.
stuff.
It's good stuff.
So good.
So you can enjoy it for quite a while because it's just so powerful.
I see I'm still enjoying it.
What are you getting on the finish?
That lingering sort of like white grape juice sweetness, but there's also like a homey is not a good word. There's like a, I'm not sure how to.
It's like a pie that has brown sugar, butter, and just kind of that white grape for sure. Just like.
Not sure what kind of pie that would be, but.
No, but I want some.
And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I don't even think I'd want to eat chocolate, cheese. I don't think I want to have anything else in the vicinity because this is so good. I can't imagine anything could make it any better. I would want to take away from the sheer just
beauty of the situation.
It is.
I think a dark chocolate would probably go well. I wouldn't want a too bitter of a dark chocolate though. So, but I wouldn't want it too sweet either. So maybe a non-sweet milk chocolate.
I don't know.
You know,
It's the best thing I've tasted in a while.
Yeah.
And I drank it because it's like.
I'm getting a lot of lingering, just barrel, butter, sweetness.
Spice.
And
There's got to be some rye in here.
getting a little bit of hug.
Oh, yeah.
And it's perfect. It's not too much. It's exactly what you want when you drink a whiskey. And her saying this about a whiskey, because I like a lot of things. And I especially love this. And her saying that she loves this, I just know it's such a special thing. We've got quite a few other of the private releases that we have not even tapped into
We
yet.
have many bottles of Barrell.
I hear Barrel Batch 24 got a 93 in the whiskey competition. That's really a high mark.
How many? Do we have 24?
We have 24. Yep.
We have multiple 24s?
I've heard that 25, batch 25, and that's not the current release, but batch 25 is a 5-year. I've heard really great things about that. And then the 26 is just released.
So when will that come out?
26 is out.
It's out. Okay.
It's not at my liquor store because they've got so much Barrell product that they have to move a lot of it. And
Now,
that's
where are
why
they building their...
I think they're building their headquarters in Kentucky.
In
Their
Kentucky.
distillery
That
in
makes
Kentucky.
sense. Better, I'm sure, better liquor laws and all sorts of things for a distillery.
So look for the craft. They even do rum as well, and their craft spirits 15-year rum comes out about the same time as the craft spirits 15-year bourbon. And I've not tried it, and I really want to. They have some other rum releases.
Is that what, so do they do other spirits besides whiskey
Just those
and rum?
two.
Okay.
They also have their Dovetail release, which is a yearly release. It is, if you want to talk funk, it is funk to the max. It is hot and funky, and it's got the hug all the way down the whole time. It is so good. It wins awards. Pretty much everything they do is gold. I hadn't tried a Barrell product that I don't like. It's funny talking about them, talking about our other favorite, which is coming up, and it's a Scotch. And then our other favorite, which is a rye, and they're all blenders. And unfortunately, the rye maker blender didn't make it into the advent calendar, which didn't have enough hanging around. But those three are our favorite whiskey.
And they, on all of them source?
All of them source.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a certain faction who, and you'll see this sometimes when distilleries are, advertise, on their websites that we are a grain to glass and that's fine. I'm glad you are. But there's nothing wrong with sourcing whiskey,
Right.
and because there's a finesse that goes into the blending and the just
Right.
all whatever goes into it. So we are fans. I mean, if it tastes good,
We'll drink it. Just so happens that our three favorites are sourcers and blenders. Two of those, Barrell and High West, which is not featured in our calendar, do have their own distilleries or are building their own distilleries, like I said. And then Compass Box, our other favorite in Scotland, they're just probably never will have a distillery.
yeah, they
will just blend
source all
forever.
sorts of scotches and blend and
And I love the process. They're focused completely on the experimentation and the process, and then they put out the best product they possibly can because they
put out
can
some good
get
products.
barrels from all over the place, and they're just not limited to what's in the rick house. They have barrels from everywhere, and they can then put spins on each one of those things. They don't have to play by the same rules, and I think it makes better products. I don't know.
It's good.
My favorite in the world. So thank you, Barrell.
Totes delish.
Totes. Merry Christmas.
Cheers.
Cheers.